Vice President Harris, who is he? Who is Tim Walz anyway? Like, let us know. Like, tell us who he is. I've been trying to figure out what's up with him. I know a little bit about him, but not for real. I know a lot of the Minnesota stuff, but let's look into this and see what they're talking about.
Turns out she found the guy who was, well, just as radical and strange as she is. His name is Governor Tim Walz, Democrat of Minnesota.
AKA Tampon Tim. We'll get into that.
Thank you, Kamala. And that was a message from President Trump himself on Truth Social. Thank you, exclamation point. Because this guy Walz is, well, very, very liberal. No charisma. Nobody knows who he really is. However,
that's kind of a lie, though. Dude got a little bit of charisma, a little charisma. He got a little juice. Not orange juice, kind of like cranberry juice, but a little something.
One thing, he's got a couple of things going for him. He's going to get along with Kamala. Look at these two laugh at nothing particularly funny. It was about 20 minutes of this, just laughing and giggling. I know, okay, you want to celebrate, but even for a moment like that, it was a bit much. So now it's...
So I got a tip. When you see two people laughing and you don't know what they're laughing for and it's just random they laughing, they're probably laughing at you. Keep that in mind.
The Harris-Walz ticket, it was just Harris for president. Notice how there's no promise for America. It's a promise for her. Harris for president, not make America great again or anything like that. No agenda for the people, just one for her, make her president. Now it's...
I know it ain't that popular. I know y'all mad at me, but that's part of my beef with her. I said, she gets till September 1st, okay? When September 1st comes around, if she ain't figured out how to talk to the people and get us in her heart or get her in our heart, however that go, y'all get the point. I'm going in. I am going in. The unlikely candidate is going to go nuclear. But I want to give her a shot because I would like to see, a woman of color get in the office, but the right woman. Not just any woman. There's too many good women out here for the bullshit. We want to see somebody who's qualified, capable, who wants the job and know what to do when the time is right. Come on, Kamala.
Harris-Walz. Quite frankly, they just don't look compatible. There's something Harris-Walz. How's that for a campaign theme? How do we get here to...
Dude sound like a hater, though, for real.
Relatively nondescript but very, very liberal guy is now the Democrat nominee for vice president. This, no kidding, is what made him a hot commodity in Democratic circles, a word that most of us first used in second grade and pretty much dropped it around third.
These are weird people on the other side. They want to take books away. They want to be in your exam room. That's what it comes down to. And don't, get sugarcoating this. These are weird ideas. If he has laughed, it's at someone, not with someone. That is weird behavior. That stuff is weird. They come across weird.
Weird. Oh, that's so edgy. That's so interesting. Calling us weird also, that's kind of ludicrous considering Joe Biden sniffing hair and all the stuff that this guy is into.
This whole election is weird. I think that's a good term. Kamala Harris and how she running is weird. Trump and what he doing with JD is weird. The state of the economy is weird. Everybody's weird. 2024 is a weird show. I'm just saying.
Let's give him a shot, though. Let's look at the pros and cons. I really tried, and this is what I came up with. On the pros side, he looks relatively normal. He does look a lot like a social studies teacher, one that I actually had. And rumor has it, he likes to fish. And they think that's going to fool the people. Like, oh, he's a good old boy. He likes to fish. I don't know if he actually does like to fish. Makes no difference to me.
That's important, though. Think about it. Like, who gets mad at people who like to fish? You know what I'm saying? These people, if you like to fish, that means you easygoing, you laid back, you like to be in tune with nature. You like to work with your hands a little bit. You don't get mad at the fishermen. I mean, even in the Bible, the fishermen made everybody smile.
On the cons, let's go ahead and put that up. Totally insane politics. He is weak. He is woke, a radical liberal, the very online adult daughter. More about her in a moment. And the first lady of Minnesota, totally out of touch. And we can go on and on and on. Actually, let's do that right now. If you think any of these words are not nice, well, this law that he signed is not nice. Get this. Tampons, the tampon law. Public schools provide menstrual products for free in girls' and boys' bathrooms. grades 4 to 12. There are a lot of things the government can do or should be doing, you know, roads, I don't know, bridges, schools, but not going into the bathrooms. And this is what it's all about lately in Minnesota. Check out his key ally, someone he endorsed and got a lot of help from on this law.
Not all students who menstruate are female. We need to make sure that all students have access to these products. There are obviously less non-female menstruating students, and therefore their usage will be much lower. And that.
All right, I gotta ask. I'm gonna put it out here because I think I'm kind of smart. I got a master's degree in business administration and information technology management, and I'm certified in all kind of stuff. But I did take a lot of biology courses and stuff. So what am I missing? Like, I thought only females can menstruate, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, 2024 is weird because maybe she tripping. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she tripping. Let's.
That was actually calculated into the cost of this and how much we decided to fund it. And so we do not expect that the non-female menstruating students will use these products as much as the students using female bathrooms, but it's important to have them there. And that brings me to the social.
Oh, I get it. I didn't know that was a thing. Well, wait. I'm sorry. Let me stop interrupting. I ain't getting the whole story. I'm tripping right now. This can throw me all the way off.
Emotional reasons for that. These students who are not female, who menstruate, face a greater stigma and barrier to asking for these products. And so providing them in an easily accessible place in all student bathrooms is particularly important for those students.
Did we get all that? The government going exactly where it shouldn't be going. This is insane beyond belief. It's kind of comical, but then again, this stuff is actually showing up in fourth graders' bathrooms, all kinds of questions.
What? Fourth graders? Wait a minute, man. I'm totally confused, and it's not comical. This shit ain't funny. Wait a minute. I'm confused. Wait. So, okay. I'm trying to... Please, in the comments, help me wrap my head around this. I want to be respectful because I just don't understand. So, he giving away tampons. All right, tampons is expensive out here, you know, okay. You want to make things accessible to people, okay. But I'm missing the non-female who menstruate part. And I think I know, but I ain't finna go there because I don't really know. But in fourth grade, though, like, I thought maybe we were talking about high schoolers or middle schoolers or something. But is that a thing in fourth grade? Jeez.
And choices, quite frankly, that they shouldn't be facing. And Walz, he's into all this stuff. Look at him clapping at like a lunatic. This trans person said something he liked.
Now I feel stupid. Now, okay, I get it. The trans community. All right, I'm sorry. Now I get it, but I'm still confused with the whole fourth grade thing because it seems a little underage, whether you're male or female or whatever. But okay, I was missing the transgender piece that was throwing me off. All right, here we go.
I don't know. He's leading the charge. It's like she won the World Series. She or he did not. He is, all right, he's really into the trans stuff. He's really into illegal aliens doing whatever the hell they want, and he's going to make it easier for them.
Today, Governor Tim Walz signed the Driver's License for All bill into law. This will allow all Minnesotans to get a driver's license regardless of immigration status.
It's done.
A packed room at the St. Paul Armory erupted after the governor's signature made driver's license for all the law of the land.
He's going to be a very kind of high-value target for Republicans, for MAGA, because he's the governor. He didn't just vote on these things. He signed it into law. He's leading the state. He's like the president of Minnesota, and his record is rich. He's also saying all the right things for a woke man in the Democrat Party.
I understand that the privilege I've been given as a white man and the privilege of sitting in the office of governor, that privilege had better be used to not just talk about the problem, but to solve the problem.
But does he really understand the privilege though? Like, he shouldn't have went in. He shouldn't have went that direction. Like, why are you saying that? Like, what are you saying? What are you doing? What?
Kind of nauseating stuff. Speaking as a white man, speak for yourself. Nobody wants to be judged on this, except for people like him who live in mansions. He lives in the governor's mansion. More on that in a moment. You got to talk like this in the Democrat Party. It's a very peculiar moment. 3 white men, I don't care, but they do, were in consideration for the vice presidential spot. Why 3 white men? Only because Kamala is a woman of color. That's the way the calculus works. It shifts. That's why these 3 were eligible. And he's really into this, oh, I'm just an old white guy. What do I know? He says it all the time.
Some of us are. Some of us in here are old enough to remember. I see you down there. I see those old white guys. Some of us are old enough to remember.
What? What is going on? Like, that's what I'm saying. This is some weird, man. Hey, man. It's this election is weird. Like, what is going on? Like, really?
I hate that. It drives me crazy.
It drives me crazy.
And it usually is said by leftists, white people, right? As a way to enhance and fortify their power, their status. Speak for yourselves, but it trickles down. That's actually fashionable. In your neck of the woods, what about at the bus depot, right? What about around here? Nobody wants to be judged on the color of their skin, but it's fashionable and it's a trick for him to enhance his power. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right. Also, on the George Floyd stuff, this guy failed miserably. Y'all remember?
Oh, shit. Please tell me he didn't have nothing to do with this George Floyd stuff. Let's see. Let's find out.
Y'all remember what happened to the precinct and the rest of that city? And he was totally late. Everybody understood. This is a huge liability. I don't see how he got nominated here. I mean, everybody understood that he was late. He didn't deploy the National Guard for like 4 days as that city erupted because I think, quite frankly, being a white person inhibited him. Oh, who am I to call for law and order? And the city and the state and, quite frankly, the world suffered because they got out of hand in Minneapolis first, and then it caught fire globally.
We are seeing such damage and destruction throughout Minneapolis and St. Paul. Things have gotten so out of control, it is hard to understand.
It's been a chaotic, at times violent day in South Minneapolis, turning into a situation unlike anything we've ever seen in our community.
From Chopper 5 up above, we can see the plume of smoke drifting towards downtown Minneapolis.
Started vandalizing the building, shattering a window, spray painting squad cars.
We are asking the governor, we're asking Mayor Fry, what is the plan here?
We saw people throwing rocks at police cars, at the precinct building.
This has gotten so out of control, it is definitely not a safe situation for anyone.
The tragedy would be if one of these dumpster fires spreads to one of those big apartment buildings or some of these homes, and then you can't get a fire truck down the street.
Please, Governor Walz, Mayor Fry, explain to us what the plan is.
We've seen protesters attacking police, defacing buildings, and looting from businesses.
The place is completely trashed. A lot of stuff has been hauled out of there. Sadly, no police presence in that area whatsoever.
Man, this was a rough time too. I remember when that stuff was going on, and it was just ain't nobody really know what to do. I mean, he the governor, so he's got resources that we don't know about. But it was during the pandemic, stuff was going down. People was trying to get out of the house. Honestly, this was one of the things that sparked people to start leaving the house for real.
I'm just so baffled. If this is being in charge, this is not a good look.
That should end a political career, not make it, not set you on your way to be the vice presidential nominee for the Democrat Party. That's what government is needed for. Law and order, save people, protect property. And they didn't. They're handing out tampons in the boys' room in 4th grade. All right, got to talk about his family for a moment. His wife did a little Marie Antoinette kind of routine during Black Lives Matter riots in 2020 as she sat in the governor's mansion.
I would say those first days, when there were riots, I could smell the burning tires. And that was a very real thing. And I kept the windows open for as long as I could because I felt like that was such a touchstone of what was happening.
A teachable moment? Are you crazy? Did you confer about it with Tim instead of... You should have been handing out milk and cookies or coffee to the National Guard as they were sending in the troops to downtown instead of having some sort of moment in the mansion. These governors and their mansions, it kind of sickens me. I saw this with the Atlanta people as well. You get a mansion, it goes to your head. They think that they are the presidents of the head of state. I guess they kind of are in a weird way of Minneapolis, Minnesota, whatever. They dressed up the mansion in pride, of course, right? You got to do that these days in the Democrat Party. Hey, something else about George Floyd. He honored him. Now, before we see how he honored him, let's review who this guy was, okay? Arrested 9 times, multiple years in jail, drugs, trespassing, theft, aggravated robbery. You heard about the knife threatening the woman, the pregnant woman. The porn videos are neither here nor there. It is just a fact. And if we're going to have statues about this guy, I think we should know the whole story, including the porn. What did the governor say about George Floyd?
Wait a minute.
To be honored because he is.
George Floyd was a porn star? Where have I been? You know what? I don't know about that. That doesn't I've heard a lot. I've heard about the drugs. I've heard about the knife. I've heard a lot of crazy things, but I ain't heard nothing about no porn, no tapes. I mean, Lord.
None of those things. He is a brother. He is a beloved father, son, uncle, cousin, nephew, neighbor, and friend, blah, 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 blah. And how long? This is a proclamation demanding a moment of silence, and not just a minute of silence. He wanted 8 minutes and 46 seconds for the people of the state of Minnesota to stand around and think about George Floyd. How about that? Something else government should not be doing, wasting people's time. We've talked about George Floyd before, by the way. The whole world has been told only lies about that case. We'll revisit another day. All right. In the meantime, they had a great big event, and Kamala says she's thrilled. And she did look kind of happy today. The big thing that this guy also has going for him in Democrat circles is his military background. Oh, wow, a Democrat in the military. That's something to brag.
Okay, all right, he's a military dude. All right, let's see what this is. Okay, let's see what his military record is.
Brag about, right?
He is a veteran who served our nation in uniform for more than 2 decades as a member of the Army
Thank you for your service, Mr. Walz.
National Guard, and he went to college on the GI Bill.
They are swooning about his military record. I found out a few things about it. I'll get to that in a moment. But first, not only Kamala bragging about it, the media, they love it. They talk more about this guy's military record than they did John McCain's. John McCain, 5 years in a Vietnam prison camp. It barely mentioned. This guy, watch.
I first of all see Tim Walz, the veteran. I see someone that always puts his country first.
He's an Army National Guard veteran.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, a veteran and former teacher.
He served for 24 years in the National Guard, the Army National Guard, as a commander.
His resume also includes more than 2 decades in the Army National Guard, including a deployment overseas.
A deployment overseas. I always wanted to see overseas.
So, I mean, what's the problem? It seems like, he's well decorated. I'm not a military dude, so I don't know how all that works, but I just know I respect it because we need people, to do that, even though I wasn't the one for it. But what's the big deal?
He deployed overseas, connoting what? Well, I looked it up. He deployed to Italy. All right, not exactly tip of the spear. I understand not everybody gets to serve in combat if you're in the military, but it looks like he evaded service for political reasons.
All right, man. Look. So that's a breakdown of who Governor Tim Walz is, aka Tampon Tim. I don't know what to think. I mean, he seems like a cool dude. I gotta hear a little more. I try not to get caught up in all the political campaign stuff initially. You know, it all matters because that's all we know about these people. But it's a lot of initial hype, a sugar high right now. He's new and all that. He seems like a good guy, but I need to see him interact more, see how the interviews go a little more with different correspondents, see a couple more rallies and see what he's really about. What I want people to do is just know what you're signing up for. Whether you pick Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, I'm not judging you. What I'm saying is take in all the information, know what you're signing up for, so that when it go down, hey, you can feel comfortable with your choice, and you knew what you was preparing, you knew what you was choosing. You can prepare yourself now for what your choice is going to be. So, but right now, man, this stuff is just so crazy. But I remember the old saying, it's never as good as they say it is, and it's never as bad as they say it is. So we just going to keep looking and seeing what's happening. The Tampon Tim thing is crazy, but whatever. All right, until the next time, stay unlikely and be unstoppable.